do it
Right,
and see
Dave,
what
how are you, mate?
happens. Very well, thank you. Very well. And you're good too?
There we go. There's your internet already screwing up.
I love that. Straight away. Is it back now?
It's back now. It's back. You're good.
Okay. All right.
How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. And you're good too, yeah?
Yes, yeah, all good. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
coming on. It's always lovely to sit and chalk shop with people, and I always appreciate people's time that they give up for it. It's always very much appreciated. So, how's the summer been? Or how's it going? Because we're just at the start.
But just at the start, that's right. As I said, just working through on Tina at the moment, Tina the musical. And we're going through some lovely
Mhm.
cities at the moment. We're blessed. We're not doing no disrespect to some of the other venues, but we're doing some nice ones, which is a very
Mm.
lovely way to spend the year. So right now we're in Belfast.
Yeah.
We've been in Belfast for 3 weeks, and then we're moving to Dublin
Okay.
next Tuesday. And yeah, long may
Nice.
that continue. It's all good.
I've I've not been to Belfast. Out of all the Belfast. I've done Dublin a couple of times. Lovely. I love Dublin. Really lovely place.
So
But yeah, I've not been to Belfast.
bit of a hot take for me is that I actually think
Mm.
Belfast is better than Dublin.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Maybe I don't know.
Why?
For me, it is. For me, it is. I find it to be. This is so weird to say. More Irish in the sense that
Okay.
Dublin's almost now just become another London, another tourist thing. But it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's Dublin. What's there to go wrong? You got the live music. You've got Temple Bar. But Belfast is a lot
Yeah.
more. I don't know. It's just a bit more where the local. I don't know where to say where the locals are, but there's some great pubs. I mean, I'm going to start saying it's all about
Yeah.
drinking. It's not about drinking. There's other things to do in Ireland. It's set in like if you're in the middle of the city centre, if you just look down a long street, you'll just see greenery and hills and everything. So it's almost like it's in a dip. So for the
Yeah.
views and everything, you get a lot more out of Belfast. Highly recommend it.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll keep it on our to-do list. My wife's mum was born in Dublin, so she's if we go over there, we do go to Dublin. And it's always sort of suggested every now and again, like, should we go and do a week in Ireland and do a bit of touring around? But yeah, with two kids, we haven't made it over yet.
Yet it will happen.
Yeah,
Is there like
we
a
will do it.
rivalry
We'll
between
do it.
Dublin and Belfast? I feel like there might be. Maybe is she like
Mm.
staunchly anti Belfast and
No. I mean,
Northern Ireland?
she was born in her mum was born in Dublin.
Yeah.
Her mum emigrated to New York, so my wife was born in New York, and then moved over here 20 odd years ago, and yeah, she's been here since. So yeah, it's cool. We got quite. It's like she's got family dotted around all over the northern hemisphere, so we kind of get nice places to go if we want a family holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, cool. So, and so it's Tina you're on,
Yes.
and how's it going? I know
Great.
you said 3 weeks in Ireland, but how is the show to play?
The show is fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a musician show, I think.
Mm.
Certainly guitar heavy. It's the most I've had to do in terms of a theatre show. Like, there's just not a
Yeah.
song off. There's two guitars. There's myself and there's Eddie Tatton on the other guitar.
Mhm.
We're doing a fair bit of heavy lifting all through the show. And
Yeah.
it's speaking from a guitar perspective for 5 minutes, it's so well arranged. And there's
Uh-huh.
thought that's gone into it by Nick Skilbeck. And it's just when someone's done their research. So, for example, if Eddie's on a 335, I'll be on a Tele
Yeah.
or a Strat.
Right.
Then,
Okay.
and it is written for those instruments. So there'll be songs. So we have to have a Tele, a Strat, a 335, and an acoustic, both of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there is a lot of ground to cover because you're basically going through the entire back catalogue. You're going through the I Cantina days back in the I Cantina review. all the way
Yep.
through to the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So you're covering a lot of ground there musically. So you can't just do it on one guitar. I mean, you could try.
Yeah.
You want to get it as authentic as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really good. And certainly there's been no changes from the London version either. So we've still got perk, drums, bass, 2 keys, and then a front line on the horns as well. So you got sax, trombone, and trumpet too. Yeah, it's
Excellent.
a good bunch.
And how well is it written for? I know you said it was written well for guitar, but in terms of the actual playability of the charts, how is it?
Oh, it's great. There's no ambiguity. There's no sense of like, what do they mean here? Like, what is this description they've written? Fuzzy wuzzy.
Yeah, I can't. I can't play that chord. I don't have enough fingers.
Insane. Yeah. It's written so well that actually there's no mystery to the part. You can just get in, and obviously most people know the hits. You kind of know what they're going for anyway. So there's no sense of don't get me wrong, it's not easy, and it's a lot of listening. You've got to keep your ears open, and there's not a lot of track in the sense of we have a click, but it's largely just a metronome. So the only things that we might have, there's a synth in I Can't Stand the Rain, which I didn't even know Tina covered. It's a great version. And what's love got to do with it? There's a pulsating synth at the start of that. And I think that's about it. All the vocals, there's not really anything else on track, which I think is quite impressive. And it's nice to be part of a band, not a show that's filling in the gaps, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you get the call for that?
I was doing a workshop. So we did a workshop for a show based in Bromley last year, and the MD of that was supervising this tour. So in one way or another, he just found out that I might be around and said, would you fancy Tina? I was like, I wasn't planning on going on tour again. Like there reaches a point where when you've toured for a few years, you kind of have to sit down a bit and just relax. I was very happy depping, but it's a great show, and it would be kind of silly not to. So then there was a small audition process to go through as well. And it turned out to be quite successful. Luckily.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And when did you get it?
Say again, sorry.
I said, when did you get it?
When did it come in? I would say around November time. So they were auditioning late autumn.
Yeah.
But things take a while to move down the chain. And I don't know how many people did audition for it, but when you've got 10 band members and multiple people auditioning in that, it just pushes things back. So a lot of it's kind of like holding your nerve a bit, and you always feel really bad being like, have you heard any updates yet? Just checking in. It's been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You want to be like, do I keep my diary open? You just never know. And that's one of the tough sides of it with auditioning for anything, is that sense of how long it takes you don't just get a reply straight away. Be like, yeah, we like it. Yeah. It's that waiting. But then, so I got the call ups. Contract came through in November time, I think. So somewhere around there. And then we didn't start. Yeah, band calls were in February. So had a bit of time then to just sort of relax, look forward to it, and start shedding when the parts came through.
That's awesome. And what other shows have you done? You said you've done touring shows as well. What other ones have you done?
Yeah, so Legally Blonde back in 2015. I don't want to splurge like every single show, but some highlights. Yeah, Legally Blonde. I did Grease straight out of lockdown. Did a European tour of Bodyguard. That was fun.
Nice.
That was a really good laugh. But it's called Bodyguard Das Musical. So there was a mix of German players who were like the local guys, obviously, and then a few Brits in the band. And so the script was in German, but the songs were in English.
Okay. All right.
It was a weird. So bless him, the MD, he's a brilliant guy. and he's still out in Germany now. He just stayed there, and he's carved his own career, which is fantastic. But he basically was learning the script in German for all the cue lines, which I thought was quite impressive. Actually, that's not easy to do. It's a second language when you haven't really ever learned it. You're just waiting for the cue line. That sounds like it.
Yeah. No, that's not it.
No. Honestly, yeah, literally. Oh, good. What else? Yeah, there's been a bunch. Grease, Jersey Boys was a fun one. Again, that's more like a jukebox type vibe.
Yeah.
And then I was just really fortunate to dep on a fair bit last year, so kind of making a conscious choice to step back from touring. It was really lovely when people reach out and like hear that you're free. So although it's never easy depping, it's quite stressful actually. It's kind of nice. There's a weird balance, right, with depping and having a chair. Because one side of it is you've got the security of a consistent show, 8 shows a week, as much as you want it. If you want to take time off, you can. That it's very, very stable. But then the flip side of it is it can get boring if you are not happy with the music or something, or it gets stale doing the same thing, especially if there's no wiggle room. You have to play the dots. There's no creativity allowed in any space until you get an 8-bar solo in the play out. In G flat. something really crap.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Come on, guys.
Come on, like what you play? Yeah.
Why are we doing it in G flat?
but then with
do you hate all of us?
And then but yeah, obviously with the flip side of that comes depping, which is holy shit, every single show is your first show, and you can't that perceived notion of you can't go in and be bad because you've just got to pretend you've always been in the seat, which is great. Some bands are more forgiving than others, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But then equally you have the variety, right? You get to actually explore out and play some different tunes, get some different people, get some different grooves in your ears. People play things differently. Wise, it's a lot more fun. Yeah. So balance.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I depped on Annie. I don't know if you've done Annie.
I did an Amdram with Annie a long time ago. I quite liked it actually.
Oh, it was. I did it. When was it? Fuck. When was that? I think it was April. And I had one of my students come in, and he was saying, when you get young students in, they just discover like shred guitar on YouTube, and he's coming in, he's like, what's like the hardest thing that you can play? And I pulled out one of the songs from Annie, went, this one, this is a fucking bitch. And he said, he looked at it, and he looked at it, and he went, it doesn't look that difficult. I said, yeah, but it's 4 minutes of just on the offbeat, and it's just the chords are just moving constantly. I can't remember the name of it. It's I think you'll like it here.
Possibly, it's been a long time.
You're gonna like
I'm
it
very
here.
bad at retaining songs in theatre, but I hear you. Yeah,
it was 4 minutes of and it was quick as well. So everything was moving quickly. I said, this is probably the hardest thing that I'm tackling at the moment. And it's fucking face. His face dropped like that. That's not what I was expecting.
Yeah. Did it have slashes or the dots as well? Because you know how some shows just go, here's the slashes, or some of them want these voicings, so you got those offbeats in certain voicings as well.
Yeah.
Was it?
I don't know. I would have to go and check. I think there were slashes, but yeah,
I think it was slashes. Yeah.
But yeah, it was chords like E flat 7 flat 5. I'm like, that doesn't come up that often. Like grown-up chords.
For one quaver. Yeah. The adult chords. I really got to get the chops together in the early stages when starting out, and it was all Amdrams. I didn't do the grad school route, but I just kind of just got into the Amdrams basically. And back then, this is 10, 15 years ago, like it was all just Rodgers and Hammerstein, banjo or acoustic. But all of those are just umpa, maybe a banjo line. Things like Oklahoma. Oklahoma was a funny one. Oklahoma. oh my God, Seven Brides, Seven Brothers, all those ones where actually, if you really want to get into it, you can really start learning your triads quite quickly. And for me, it was like, right, you can do the big extended jazz voicings, or we're not changing lives here in the Road and McGaw in Woking. Learn basic triads across top 4 strings. Let the bass handle the extra stuff. And that was a really nice sort of get out jail free card when you see those big voicings, just learning inversions up the neck. So when you get parts like that, you're like, holy shit, I've got four chords and bar on the offbeat moving really fast. So actually you realize maybe it's only 1 or 2 notes different. The chord can largely stay the same shape. You're just shifting.
Yeah.
That was a really fun one, actually. I remember thinking when I first started doing it, I was like, what the hell are these chords? An E+9.
Yeah.
What? Why has the circle got a weird line through it?
Yeah. Can I just play octaves on that?
Yeah. I'll just do octave E's. Just go octaves. That's what Annie needs. Disco Annie.
Yeah. So you said you didn't go through graduate school. Did you do any music college, or was it all learning just from home, private teachers? How did you do it?
I did classical guitar.
Right.
But that was it. I started in, I don't know what the age is. You've got kids. You'll know, probably year 3. So whatever year 3 is around that age. I want to say
7,
between
8.
7. Yeah. Between 7 and 8 would be a best guess. Yeah. And just did that. Worked my way through the syllabus. I had a really good couple of teachers. Very, very supportive. Even when you're like 14 and you're like trying to do tapping on a classical guitar, like just discovered tapping. He's like, put it away. So yeah, just worked away through the grades, and obviously naturally when you get to 14, hearing Led Zeppelin, which I think my parents, Clapton and Led Zeppelin were the first ones my parents, who aren't super musical. They have great taste in music, but not guitar focused music, put it that way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was born on the Beatles. It was more just a case of, oh, you like guitar? Have you heard of Stairway to Heaven? You might like the Immigrant Song.
Yeah.
The stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then they bought me a classic starter pack on electric guitar. And then that was it then. It was sort of like running dual parallels of learning grades, having a sense of foundation of what it should be doing, but then having to watch DVDs. I remember having like a Fender how to play guitar DVD of some guy being like, this is how you bend the guitar string. I had to sit there basically just being like, trying to work out the idea of doing it. It was probably horrific. Through like a tiny Carlsbro 8-inch speaker, distortion on full, bees in a Heinz tin. Makes me shiver.
I know.
So and then it was just basically teach myself electric and learning songs just through tab, but having obviously the sensibility of reading as well. And then I just didn't think a career in guitar playing specifically was largely doable. So I ended up going to university to study sound engineering. So I just trained to be a sound engineer, essentially, which was really fun. Like that was great. Actually, just having faders, actually just using a desk and actually mixing. I've had a lot of enjoyment in that. And then I took a year out to work at a theatre, and that's when I started meeting some guitarists. And then I just fell into the Amdram from there. As soon as people find out you read, they're like, someone that's under 24 and can read music, great, let's get them in. Because a lot of the Amdrams, there's a lot of. I don't want to say the old boys because they were brilliant, but they were starting.
Careful, because I'm knocking on that door.
You are not. No, you're not.
I'm 44.
What's 44? 44 is the new 24.
It's the new. Well, I keep saying this to people. Like I spoke to my dad as well. He turned 70 the other December. I was like, what does it feel like to be 70? And he said, well, everything hurts, but I still feel like I'm 26, 27. I was like, okay. And that's kind of, I still feel 26, 27. But yeah, my knees are starting to hurt.
Honestly, what I'm 34, and ever since turning 30, and everyone always said before turning 30, I was just like having an existential crisis. Like, I'm not where I want to be in my life. I want to be further. Everything's like, I'm 30. What have I achieved? You kind of realize that you have achieved more than you think, especially if you're freelance in the
Yeah.
20s and you've actually survived. Man, turning 30s, hangovers kick in, the knees start hurting, the lower back starts hurting. You start buying those piles cushions to sit on your chair, just to get through the show and survive. I know how you feel.
I mean, I stopped drinking about 10 years ago, but so the hangover thing, I haven't noticed. I never noticed the hangovers getting worse. My hangovers were always horrendous, but yeah, just the knees, the back support. My fucking eyes are starting to go. Wearing glasses, and I turned up to I race go-karts quite frequently, and so I went down last night.
Nice.
And I had to wear my glasses. I was like, I can't fucking see. Like, look, they're
Under
so
the helmet.
tired.
Yeah.
Not when I race, but yeah, just turning up, like, just to read stuff. If I don't wear my glasses during the day, they get tired, and I have to wear them at night. And I was like, I'm just getting fucking old, man. It's
I've got mine here. I'm the same as you. I'm literally the same as you. It's great, by the way.
But I'm belligerently. I'm not going to wear them. I'm not going to wear them. Fuck it. I'm not going to wear them. And then by the end, it feels like my eyes like, no, they're giving up. Like, no, you got to put them on.
It's so funny. I have this thing where I can't really see between light and dark very well now.
Right.
And so people will be in the wings and like just having fun or something. I'm literally like this. What? Who is it? You're like, yeah, cool. It's great. Just keep playing. It's terrible. It's somebody. Could be anybody. But congratulations, about 10 years not drinking is fantastic. There's a lot to be said for that.
Thank you, man.
Because
yeah,
it's not easy.
Yeah, it was either, and I don't want to get too dramatic. It was either quit drinking or I'm going to die. So, yeah. It was. Yeah, it wasn't. My 30s weren't great.
Yeah. Did you find the drinking and the playing went hand in hand? As I said, I don't want to pry too much, but I do find there's a link between drinking and playing sometimes. It can get into a
No. I mean, my drinking was like habitually isolated drinking.
Right.
And then begrudgingly have to go out to work, but then I would still be drinking, and like the playing didn't fuel the drinking. I was drinking, but then had to go and do a show, and I'd usually turn up already half cut. And
oh my god!
So it was that bad. It was like early morning drinking, then leaving for a show. Mixed in with some narcotics as well.
Honestly, reading. It's so probably cliche to say this, but reading Slash's autobiography and The Dirt. Have you read The Dirt? Motley Crue's.
I read The Dirt. Yeah, that was horrendous, man. But fucking rock and roll.
Honestly, if I'm at a wedding and I've had
I don't know how they're alive.
That's it, isn't it? They've got veins of mithril or something. I just don't understand. And to still function. I mean, some of those gigs, you look at them back on YouTube and you just think, oh, right, okay, it's lucky that it's grainy footage and things are a bit shit back then, because it would sound terrible now. But I just think how they can function live, it's phenomenal.
I don't know. I mean, I think they were just plying themselves with so many different drugs and narcotics just to get themselves through the show. Yeah, that it's I don't know, but it's
Slash's one is a great read as well.
Yeah,
I do recommend it.
Okay.
It's a cool insight into how they began in that sense.
Yeah,
and in his life, like with being brought up in Stoke briefly, and with being friends with Lenny Kravitz, who I forget is kind of British, even though he's largely been in America now. and like being
I
gifted.
didn't realise that.
What's
Lenny
that?
Kravitz is English.
I'm pretty sure
Lenny
he was born
Kravitz
in
is
England.
English.
Yeah,
Really? I
yeah.
had no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure he was born in England originally. Yeah. I
Okay.
think it's like military parents, you know?
Right.
Military
Yeah,
brat,
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm 99%
Okay.
sure. I could be right. I could have just completely misread that or misremembered it. But yeah, I'm sure that was a thing. It's a great read,
Okay.
and like having been gifted a 59 Les Paul or something in his early 20s. It's like, oh, I've been given Joe Perry's guitar.
Damn.
Great, it's a present. And you
Yeah.
just think, what's that worth now?
Son of a
Like,
bitch. Yeah.
yeah.
Damn. So other than touring shows, you know, did you go through all of your classical grades, all the way up to grade 8?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Got from those.
what? Okay. What does practice and playing look like today?
Oh God, I'm going to embarrass myself now. And actually, I was having this chat with Eddie the other day.
Yeah.
On a side note, it's quite funny when you've got two guitarists on a gig. It's everybody's worst nightmare in the band because it's like, here they go again, talking away, talking gear. Practice now. It's interesting because I feel like I practice more when I'm not on a gig. Gear chat all the time, but we were talking about practicing, and we both agreed that we're both similar, Eddie and myself, in the sense of I tend to practice more when we're not on a show, which is weird in a way because obviously you want to keep your chops up, as it were, by not playing the same thing every day. But it's also this show we're doing so much in particular that it kind of actually you lose the drive sometimes because you're already doing some. It's not hard, but also there's a lot involved in this show in particular. But I am trying to get better. Usually, right now, for the last few years, I know it's become really popular now. Like country's become cool again, which is mind blowing.
Yeah, I've just joined a country tribute band.
Really?
Yeah. Lainey, do you know Lainey Wilson?
Really well. Yeah.
Yeah. We got our first show this Sunday.
Mate, I hope that goes great. I bet it will.
Yeah.
I actually would think
some killer fucking guitar parts on there.
Rob McNally does some really cool shit. I mean, they've all done it. All the names do Lainey, but she's got a huge catalogue. But I was actually saying, so it's my partner that got me into country. We met 6 years ago, and their family had been to Nashville, like 3 times.
Okay,
and they're like Rootsy and Tootsie, Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn.
Okay,
the OGs. That's the country that I got thrown into, and it's phenomenal, really. But I was saying the other day, I was like, I want to join a country band, like a proper country band, like a Luke Combs band, something like that. Like, that would be fantastic.
Oh well, I can put you forward for any depth that I need.
Yeah, well, that's all right. This isn't gig fishing. This isn't gig fishing.
Yeah,
but that's mate. I'm so chuffed because that just sounds like an absolute hoot, and that means you're not playing.
Yeah,
we all love to play the bangers. We like to play chic sometimes, but there's a lot more to get involved with when you're doing the country stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be some
of those
gig.
hybrid licks. I mean, there's nothing. There's a Molly Tuttle solo on one of the songs, and I was listening to it. I was like, there isn't a hope in hell that I can get that down for this show. And then I listened to all the live versions. Like, he's not doing it. Thank fuck for that. So he's kind of just doing his own thing.
It's one thing doing it.
Oh no, I think I'm based.
Yeah.
I'm basing this mainly on the live shows. But it's there. It's like, you know what, that's something to work on, because some of that flat picking acoustic bluegrass stuff is just another fucking level.
A few friends of mine have really got into that now. Like, they've got the Tony Rice books. I think people like Billy Strings have really brought bluegrass back, actually. And you know, so to answer your question, practicing, usually for me, it's been sort of just exploring around the chords and actually serving a song, trying to actually have something to say when you take a solo, or just have a part. Don't just play the chords.
Yeah.
Actually create a hook, a line, a melody. that can weave in and out of a song, and that's what I tend to do these days. And I've been getting a lot of enjoyment out of, because I do struggle. I've never been one of those guys, which feels shameful saying in a way, because I know some really great players that swear by metronome, consistency, have a regime, write it in a diary, and that's why they're up here and I'm down here. Is how I feel about it sometimes. But we've all got different strengths. We all do, and we all find our own way to practice. How about you? How do you practice?
Do you know what? It's very much the same as you. Like, if I've got a show on, so I've been booked to play The Witches of Eastwick, and I've also had this Lainey Wilson show start up kind of towards the end of Feb, I think I got it. And that's kind of all I've been working on. And I haven't had the time to sit down and, like, I had lessons quite consistently with Martin Goulding.
Oh, I've heard of this guy. I've seen his
You know him?
It's insane.
He is like, nobody has leveled up my playing quicker than Martin has. But he is, as you said, he like writes it in a diary, practice regime, metronome, click, like everything. Like, I turned up for my first lesson and he was like, okay, like, I went in for alternate picking because my picking was shit. And he said, we're going to level up the left hand first. So it starts here with the left hand and then we'll gradually add the right hand in. And so I started going through these little exercises and stuff. And it was so odd because I'd never experienced this before. Like, he put the click on like 80 and just had me running up and down a G major scale. And like, I felt like I got it. And I was like, okay, like, I got it. He's like, yeah, keep going. He's like, and I was like, all right, okay, another sort of 10 minutes. I'm going up and down this scale. He's like, shake your hand out because you don't want to get any like cramps or anything. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I swear for 40 minutes, I was just going up and down this one scale pattern at 80 BPM, groups of 5.
Right.
And I was like, are we ever actually going to do anything? And he's like, he got to the end of it. He's like, all right, okay. And I was like, your third finger like is weak. I was waiting for it to warm up. Your third finger's really weak. You need to really smack the shit out of the strings just with that third finger. And you need to make sure that the string, and he got a pen and drew on my finger, so that's where the string should be hitting. Any lower than that, your finger will buckle.
Yeah.
You want to be up here, like nice and strong. I was like,
yeah,
okay. And he put the click back on, and like another 20 minutes, just do the same thing. Like an hour just doing this one scale pattern. I came back the next week and he went, book out, get the thing on, click on. Do you want a tea? I went, yeah. Like the same scale. I was there for about a month. Same tempo, same pattern. And then he was just like, right, now put it up to 120. It's like, okay, cool, 140, 160. It's like, holy fuck. Like, I've never, like you said, you just need to, once you get a good foundation, building up becomes easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. I was expecting like us to notch the metronome up like 5. He's like, that's a waste of time. Just nail it at 80 and then you can take it up to 120. I was like, that big a jump. He's like, that big a jump. Regardless of what you're doing, you're sweeping, tapping, fucking hammer it at 80 and then you can take it up to 120.
As you say, you build those foundations and then it sets everything else in good motion because naturally you're doing it at faster tempo by all. Yeah, I had something similar with that with a guy called Sam Bell, actually. I went and reached out to him.
On here.
Did you? Lovely guy, man.
One of the first ones. Yeah, lovely guy.
I'll have to listen back to that, you know. I'll do that on the walk in today, actually. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but we had a mutual friend. Or have a mutual friend, I should say. And if I couldn't do a gig or Sam couldn't do a gig, he would get the other one of us in. And so I remember seeing his videos going, holy Jesus, you're like Paul Gilbert. You've just got like that legato thing. It's amazing. And he makes it look effortless as well. And he's got some great concepts around pentatonic, but makes it really easy. So anyway, I had a few lessons with him and it was amazing. It was like 3 lessons with him suddenly just opened my eyes of just like, you know, when it just opens up another thing that you haven't even thought about because it's your thing. You got your own, you're blatantly wrong. This is how I play now. This is my voice. And then just, you get a good teacher like Martin or like Sam's like, have you thought about it this way? then same as you, my legato just suddenly went straight away.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah.
it's that sense of the weak left hand as well, actually. But I was very similar. That's the classic pinky, trying to get that. Then also, I mean, I haven't got the biggest,
Yeah.
I haven't got the biggest hands, but like the idea of having a 1, 2, and 3 stretch rather than 1, 3, 4, because classical playing, it is scalic in that way, right? It's 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4 for a major scale.
Yeah.
Whereas it was like, no, you choose 1, 3 for these 3 ones, which never occurred to me, and it really did. Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's really lovely talking to other guitarists when it's a green flag to me. I hate to use that term. It's a green flag when they're like, "Oh, I had a lesson with Martin the other day. I had a lesson with so and so," and I think that's great. The fact that we're still professionals, but we still want to learn from other people and pick their brains, rather than just go, I'm pro now. I don't need to learn anymore. I'm already getting work.
Yeah.
And I love that. And
I've spoken to a few people. Like I put on one of my social media accounts or something. I can't remember what. Like I had a great lesson with so and so, and then somebody chimed in like, "You're still having lessons?" I was like, "Aren't you?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Well, fucking hell! I guess you know everything then." Yeah,
that is it. I guess you know everything. You've completed guitar for everybody. You can be put in any situation. You're fine. Great.
Yeah, and it's
there's always something to learn.
that closed mind mentality. Like I'm a gigging touring guitar player. I don't need lessons. I should be teaching, but like it's a never ending journey. It's like, well, why would you ever think that you don't need lessons? Why would you assume that you've got nothing left to learn?
Yeah, and everyone can always teach someone something. That's the thing, and it's been really lovely actually. Now the last few shows I've done, depping or on a chair holder, I've had 2 guitarists, which has been brilliant. Like sometimes you can be met with trepidation a little bit. You're like, I'm not going to be as good as them. Imposter syndrome kicks in, but actually, most of us, I feel like 99% of guitarists I've met are just like, we're all the same. We just want to talk gear, and like when someone does something good, the face comes in.
Ooh,
and I love that.
And that's the,
like,
you're there? Yeah, what was that?
Literally,
I'm just doing a G major over an A chord. Sweet, that sounded lovely.
Yeah, just doing Chuck Berry licks. Honestly, I mean, I won't bang on about this show, but it is hands down probably my favorite one because of the creative freedom that the supervisors and the MD have kind of said. You've kind of been booked because you can do the job, but also your personality as a player is allowed to shine through. And it's not, don't get me wrong, this isn't a gig where everyone's wagging over each other. And like, that's the way the London band's so phenomenal to go and listen to, because Marco and Dave are 2 of the finest guitarists who I'm sure you've heard of. And the whole band are brilliant, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And it's just been lovely being the next generation of that in that sense. And still, rather than being like, oh, there's a bit of space here, let's fill it. It's like, no, let's just keep it. Let's enjoy that. And then if someone wants to dip out, we dip out, or dip up, I should say. And there's a lot of this still in the show. And I would say our drums and bass are 2 of the best drums and bass players I think I've heard in the longest time. They're brilliant. Elijah Godson and I really should. I just call him Jay. He's like Prince. He's just known as Jay. I will find out his surname. But again, those 2 are just a force to be reckoned with. And the things that they do sometimes every night. The whole band, we're on stage at the end. So the last 20 minutes or so, it's just a free-for-all gig.
Yeah.
But it's never got to a point where everyone's just spaffing. It's just still that sense of turning heads like, fucking hell, did you just hear that sort of thing? And it's a joy to behold, actually. And so I did say to Jay actually recently, I was like, I need to get some lessons from you, Jay, just from some of his
Yeah.
bass fills. I'm like, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
I've never heard that. And you could probably take that onto guitar and explore that and make it sound shit,
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, playing with. I mean, I always found that playing with people who are better than you, and we could go around what you mean by better, but I think we all know, like, just players that have been around a lot longer than you. They know their way inside and out of, playing over changes and stuff. That's how you step up your game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the national guide so good, right? They all can go turbo if they want to. Look at Guthrie Trapp. You look at his stuff 10, 15 years ago when he was doing proper like bluegrass vibes. He can go. But does he really do it a lot? Not every single solo.
No.
And it's just that sense of experience of like, I mean, I could go full Ferrari, or we could just maybe let it breathe, explore something, explore an idea, then kicking it into gear, then not. I love that.
Yeah.
That to me is actually that's what I listen to now. That's what I find enjoyable to listen to as a player. Someone that the art of giving 80% rather than a full 100 all the time. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great to know that you can shred. It's awesome. But also, can you just say something?
Can you play something nice that people want to hear?
Yeah. And that is what I strive for at the moment with my playing. It's like, cool, be flashy, great, but also maybe you take a solo and just, I don't know. That's what I find I'm enjoying listening to lately, and a lot of players seem to be doing it as well. Like, maybe it's just, again, we're surrounded by right now. The caliber is strong in what we do, and it's tough to keep up with it. Actually, this probably will make me practice more. I think, to be honest.
Oh, there you go. If
keep up
if
with
we can reach
everybody,
one person, that's great.
Yeah. No.
Okay. And how about getting better? How do you interpret getting better?
Interesting. How do you interpret getting better?
Or what would you use as a yardstick to say, do you know what, this time last year I couldn't do this, now I can. That's an improvement.
It would be that sense of being dropped in a scenario and still feeling comfortable. So, for me, if we take out in terms of ability for a second and just look at general experience and mental attitude to not stressing all the time, I learned that quite a lot. In the last year, I had to dep on a lot of shows. And although it's fearsome, it's learning how to deal with that and go, all right, we're nervous, but you've spent the last 7 days, 8 hours a day learning this. Like, you know it. You don't need to.
Yeah.
You won't be. And that sense of just play the show now. You know it. Just trust your fingers. You've done so much work in it. It'll be fine. And largely it has been, thankfully, good. Yeah. And that to me is something that to me is growth in that sense. In terms of playing, I would say it's that set, like, I know things I need to work on myself. Like, there's some amazing guitarists that you can put them into a jazz swing band or something like that, a trio, they'll fly. And I've happily turned down gigs just to be like, I know someone better than me. I know someone that is available that would do this so much better. And I'd rather give the work out to somebody that can do a good job rather than me at that point, fight my life thing. How do I do this? But I do believe there is a point where you have to say yes to these gigs and just learn, right?
Yeah.
Got to practice that instead. Get yourself in those situations where you're out of your comfort zone and little by little.
Yep.
So, I don't know. How would you see that? What's your yardstick?
I mean, for me, it's reading. So, 18 odd months ago, I think I came back from a gig, and it was like one of those gigs when It's a one-off gig at the edge of the fucking country, and you roll back in at 4 a.m. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. I don't want to come back in at 4 o'clock in the morning because then my Sunday's gone.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to somebody else, and they were saying that they just started doing Amdram work because they wanted to get into, they want to do touring theatre shows or get into the West End. And they were saying, yeah, we start the show at 7, maybe 6:30. We're done by 9:30, 10, and I'm home by 10:30, 11. I said, well, that sounds fucking great. So I then just started making inroads into doing more of that stuff. And I just started picking up, like you said, I started picking up gigs where I'd have to read, and just putting myself in that situation where, like, I'm not overly comfortable with this. I'm far used to just someone giving me a set list and listening to tracks, working them out, transcribing them, going off and doing the gig. But being sent the dots and the tunes as well. It's like, right, well, now you have to read it because I don't want to learn by ear because that defeats the object. So yeah, I spent like the next 6-7 months just doing reading, just practicing my reading and finding whatever I could, reading the real book, getting out flute music, getting Beethoven, and like you said earlier about things like doors opening, it's like, shit. And once I started getting comfortable with it, it's like all these music books are now available to me. Whereas before, be like, oh, it hasn't got tab. Now it's like, okay, well, now I can play it. So that to me is kind of like the biggest improvement over the last year for me.
Yeah. There's lots to be said for that, I think, and there is. I've not heard it firsthand, but I know the online argument of reading versus playing for the sake of playing, and how much reading can really stop you. And it's like, no, it opens doors. Professionally, it opens far more doors.
Yeah.
And it is. I know it's a running joke, isn't it? The guitarists can't read, and then you show somebody, another musician, like 4 different ways to play the same passage.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, so I can kind of see what you mean then, why that's a bit of a fucker to read for guitar. Yeah. Things like that. Like, it does make me laugh. But
yeah. I mean, I think I spoke to Adam Goldsmith, and he was like, well, once you get your head around it and you figure out, like, it's not as difficult as people want to make out. I mean, it's not as easy as reading on piano, but with 8 or 4 different middle Cs. But once you kind of get your head around it, you see where are the other notes? Where am I going? What's my lowest note? What's my highest note? Where should I play it? Once you kind of figure out, most of the time you're kind of around the 5th fret, just read from there.
Absolutely. And I do believe that if anyone wants to do what we do in theatre specifically, and they're an electric guitarist who can read rhythms because they've just learned from rock school, they've learned from Trinity Rock and Pop. I've had a few kids who have got to know what I do and stuff, and they're like, can we have a look into it? Like, great, here's a chart. And I remember that was a lesson that I had. So when I started getting to Yamdrams, there's a local teacher called Joe Meacham, and he used to be in the West End back in the day, did all the Lloyd Webber stuff. He's a bass player, actually, but phenomenal guitarist, an amazing ear. And he said, come on round, we'll have a beer and we'll go from there. He at the time had this lovely house. It's fantastic, a little annex and a studio, really. And he's like, beer? I was like, I'll have a beer. Yeah, sure. Like 22, like drinking with the teacher. This is weird.
Yeah.
And he was super cool, super chill. And he's like, right, so do you want to do theatre, do you? And I was like, well, I'd like to explore that. Like, I've started doing Amdram. I've got some stuff in. He's like, all right then. Pulls out chess. I don't know if you know chess at all.
I haven't done it, no.
It's written by Benny and Bjorn. Or maybe just... And I think it is both of them musically, with Tim Rice as the lyric writer. It's fantastic. It's one of the best written guitar pads, I think, going. And there's a song in particular called Press Conference. And it's, honestly, it's a bit like fly shit on a page. It's like 5/4, 7/4, 7/8, 4/4, 3/4. Just these all bars. And he goes, I'll never forget this line. I love it. He just goes, dude, if you can play that, you can play fucking anything. And then that was our, honestly, it's like 8 bars. It's a classic. I mean, most theatre guys will have heard of this song at some point, and it looks horrifying because of the time signatures, but it's not, because it's just quavers moving through the bars.
Yeah.
So if you take out the time signature, you're looking at quavers. That's what it is. But it's a funny fucker of a play. It's quite spidery, and it's great for the picking, to be fair.
Okay. Yeah.
And our next
all right, what was it
5
called?
or 6 lessons, chess.
Yeah, what was the song?
Press conference.
Press conference. All right. So your next 5 or 6 lessons.
Yeah, it's about maybe 20 seconds in. You'll go through the intro, then suddenly it'll kick into the chorus, and that's that. It's phenomenal. My next same as you with Martin.
Okay.
Was like, right, we're just going to potter through chess, and that really got the reading. I could read, but then there's reading for the job, and quickly as well. And that was what he was basically coaching me effectively, and he's got so many stories, and he was a really good. Well, it was through him in a way that kind of steered me into the next circle above the Amdrams as well, actually, through his connections. But that was one of them, and that's what I do with my kids my pupils, is that if they want to do theatre, great. You can learn a lot by going through the Bach stuff, the single line things, but also you can get a lot of mileage out of just playing what people write for theatre. Yeah, because it's not Bach. They're not writing Bach. They're writing Legally Blonde, some weird shit that they think's really rocky, but it's not. And it's just like that to me was proved really effective. And having the grounding of the Amdrams to explore these different paths, as you said, it's all doable. It's just a matter of how much time it takes you to get it down. And that's what really starts setting the pros apart, is how quickly they can get that together. But the parts are never unplayable. They look scary, but that's the first thing you just go, actually, it's not that bad. Until it says like capo 6 with a drop D tuning. Yeah. And it's like...
Still written in concert pitch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot to be said for just learning what people think guitar should sound like in theatre. And it's... I mean, there's some funny ones. There's always anomalies. Like, was fortunate enough to go in on Mean Girls. Again, another 2-guitar show, on which Brian Streeter and Mike Dunn, the guitar, when the whole band are phenomenal anyway. There's a lovely sounding band there. Good parts. Really fun.
Yeah.
But guitar 1, it starts on whammy. I've never heard of whammy in musical theatre. I know you've never heard. Honestly, it's like, obviously it's on. You can't you have to just make sure that you've got the toe down. It's the octave up. It's like, it's exposed, top line. You're with the trumpet. It's like, who puts a whammy in theatre? It's asking for trouble. And it does it, and it comes back again in a later song that was just my biggest fear was falling off the whammy, because it's like they've actually written it in. It's awesome. But that was probably recently, speaking about sort of how tricky Legally Blonde was as a part to get down, that was up there for me in terms of time taken to learn the show and really get the detail down and feel confident that it's fine. Tricky stuff there, and locking in, just making sure you're listening to the drums and the bass and the guitar. You don't want to be the guy that's half a beat ahead all the time.
Off. Oh, fuck. Yeah. I depped on a show. I depped on a function last week, and one of the songs we did, I don't know what the fuck happened. I swear the bass and the drums just did a bar of 6/4, and I've already started, and I'm like, I was like, right, I'm looking, I'm going, which one of us is going to find the one? And they were quite young, but they were just playing like heads down. I went, all right, so I guess it's me. All right, okay, wait for it. And back in. I was like, I swear they did a bar of 6/4 or something, or a bar of 5, and they were just head down, not looking up. I was like, can you not hear it? I'm well, all right, okay. So when the pre-chorus came in, I was like, all right, I just held the chord, wait for it to come around. Yeah, it was yeah, it was odd. Or maybe it was me. Maybe I rushed ahead. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You didn't know there was a 6/4 bar?
If I'm having to wait, then yeah. If I'm having to wait, then maybe it was me. Maybe I jumped ahead. I don't know. But it was odd. But it was that "Are you listening?" kind of thing. Can you not hear it?
Yeah, your ears open.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. I love those moments. It's a real telling one when, say, someone's a bar out and they just have no idea. And I've always been one of those people that just finds things funny. I've never been a scowler that gives you like the.
Yeah.
You got to laugh at these things.
Yeah.
Especially in those moments as well. You're just like, how is this? What is happening here? And then, but they don't know. The audience don't care. They're not listening to us. It's all fine. I'd love to know what the song was now.
My one.
Yeah. What was the song?
Sit Down by James.
Oh my god.
So that's just a 3-chord trick. It's
3 chords and the truth.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. Listen, Dave, I'm gonna have to shoot off. Kids are gonna be running in back from school soon. But it was so lovely to chat with you. And thank you so much for your time.
You too, Tim. Thanks for having me on. We should do it again, even off this. It'd be lovely to chat to you again.
Yes, yeah. Even like in real life, like real people.
That would be really lovely.
Yeah.
But thank you.
All right, cool. All the best with the rest of the show. I hope it goes well.
Yeah, come see us sometime. You're more than welcome.
Yes. All right, we'll do.